Danielle Coffey, Vice President of Government Affairs at TIA, the Telecommunications Industry Association. Remember, we represent 500 manufacturers and suppliers of information and communications technology equipment.
Hi, I'm John Banks, Senior Vice President for Law and Policy at USTelecom, where our group works on legal and policy issues in Washington that affect the broadband industry. USTelecom is made up of large, medium, and small carriers that provide voice, video, and data across the country.
I think that the audience will be pleased to see many faces that they recognize when it comes to policymakers and industry leaders who will come together and have a discussion about how we get broadband in the hands of every American. From the beginning of the conference with RUS Administrator Jonathan Adelstein and NTIA head Larry Strickling, all the way through the close of the first day with Blair Levin, who's heading the FCC's efforts on a national broadband plan. We will learn insights from the policymakers as well as their plans to move forward on the lofty goal of getting universal broadband access. We will also hear from industry leaders who will talk about private investment all the way through to innovations in the last mile, as well as the adoption, so the demand side of the equation.
Well, private investment is what drives broadband deployment and provides a platform for adoption that benefits people across the country. Carriers invest over $60 billion a year with equipment vendors to buy the equipment and deploy broadband services across the country. So the key issue, I think, for that panel is to discuss how can we keep private investment at that level or potentially even increase it. Will potential new government regulations on the internet detract from investment incentives, and if so, what will that spell for broadband deployment and adoption? Those are the key issues for the panel.
We'll hear from Tom Taki of Verizon, Jim Ciccone of AT&T, and TI members will be represented, which we're excited about, including Jeff Campbell of Cisco, Derek Lobin of Nokia Siemens Networks, Paul Kennefic of Alcatel-Lucent, Gary Bolton of Adtran, Jared Carlson of Ericsson, and Praveen Goyal of RIM. So we are very excited to have all of these industry players and policymakers discuss a very important issue to the vendor as well as the service provider community.